So the market chop continues within not only the crypto markets, but also the traditional markets, specifically with China. Major volatility coming in, and we're all still waiting for the much anticipated CPI inflation data, which is going to be coming out tomorrow. So don't expect any miraculous moves until we have that information come out. So we'll have a look at the Banter Bubbles charts over here. We can look at how you can adequately prepare yourself leading into what's most likely to unfold in the next 24 to 48 hours. A whole lot of valuable information in today's show, jam-packed. Please smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So just quickly having a look over here, I want to see what's in the top trending coins. Let's quickly see how things are moving along. There we go. Looks again still like it's dominated by the meme coin sector, with the memes putting in obviously the biggest gains over here. So we did an extensive show on that yesterday. Please go back and have a watch on that one if you haven't looked at it already. A lot of valuable things that you can look at, how you can be adequately positioned into memes, into the next phase of the cycle. Whaleroom's absolutely crushing it. We just updated, today, having a look at some of the prior calls that we've made. It's been truly killer. So in today's show, I mostly want to talk about why a lot of the crypto investors and traders are likely to be shaken out if we do see even one more dip. And even that is a bit of wishful thinking. No guarantees that you're going to get that next dip. So we're going to have a look at that. We're going to have a look at the stock markets, what's happening in China, and then again, how to position yourself. Now, very simply put, if you're just using one line to make all of your financial decisions, it would be this one, the 21 weekly exponential moving average. So long as Bitcoin can remain above this line and it can be angled towards the upside. The angle, the slope of it is very key to what happens next, right? If we can keep maintaining this upward posture, chances are it will act as support. Price will interact into that just like it did last week, and you'll see a bounce off of that. So if you see price coming down into this level over here, don't panic sell. You need to wait for the weekly closes, right? I wouldn't be surprised if the CPI comes out favorable and you start to see this candle push back towards the upside. We obviously have seen the very first inkling sign that there's a little bit of a shift in direction for the market, and this could be the next signal that you're looking for, is price pushing once again into the 21 EMA, pushing towards the upside over here, forming what would then be your next high low. So you'd then be looking at this, viewing this wick over here as your next high low. You want this next candle to hold above that wick over there, and if it does do so, well, then you might see continuation onwards and upwards, at which point we do start to break above all of this resistance, leaving the trading range. And this has been one of the longest trading ranges that we've ever been in. Now, that's a good thing as well, because it means if this is in fact all reaccumulation, and we're leaving one of the, I think it's 209 days. We'll double check on that in a moment. If we're leaving a 209-day long range, this creates a very strong foundation, which would then create the springboard and the opportunity for price to catapult out of there. So something to have a look at. And that means that many traders will be trapped, right? On the constant chop and shakeouts over here, the frustration that they have within the markets. Instead of spending time in the market at this particular point in the cycle, they're opting to rather be short-term traders, hopping in and out of trades because they're sick of the chop, right? The stubborn price action that we have over here. And consequently, the real move does take place. And by then it's too late, right? It's way too late to gain exposure. Remember what's coming up, right? The CPI. We also have the election phase, which is coming up. And we've had a whole look at all the data surrounding that and why we expect that to be incredibly bullish leading into that election phase. And even after the election phase, we expect that the markets will continue to rip towards the upside. So you are probably putting in somewhat of a bear trap over here before leading into the next phase of the market cycle. And when that does actually occur, the expectation would be that you should see, retail come back in a big way. You should see the YouTube views picking up pretty aggressively towards the upside. And if you isolate and you actually have a look at, just the guys that are, no offense to them, just for lack of any other word, flaky, right? Flaky when it comes to their regular posting schedule. One would be Alex Becker. I don't want to isolate him, right? We can have a look at a couple of other ones. Let's see who else have we got over here. People that don't post that often, they just come back when the retail here. Who else can we put in here? These Let's see. Okay, these are pretty consistent, guys. Plan B, I think we can chuck Plan B in there as well. Let's see, anyone else over here that's noteworthy, that mostly only Elio Trades, always on Twitter, active on Twitter, but I'm going to chuck him in there as well, as someone that mostly creates his YouTube content around the peaks of the market cycle. Let's definitely throw in BitBoy, right? We've got to put in BitBoy over there. And then, yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll leave those ones in the list. Now, when you have a look at this list over here, you can see where the YouTube views are, right? These are the guys that cater to the true latecomers to the market cycle, the true retail, the people that are usually here during extreme periods of FOMO. Now, where's this chart right now? Well, you can see it's come down significantly, right? It hasn't even yet turned a corner, starting to reaccumulate a little bit over here, but we're waiting for a major markup. So when you confirm the breakout into the next phase over there, that's where you would expect, right? That things would break out. And again, no disrespect to any of these YouTubers. Some of them have exceptional content. I'm just simply stating that, mostly they come back when the attention is the highest. And that's where we expect the final phase of the bull run to have its blow off top, which just shows you how early we are in terms of attention, right? And you can see how quickly some of these coins move, and we don't even have true retail back in the market. So we're loading up for a big move over here. We've had a whole look at that, and the one problem that we're contending with is the dollar, right? I said to our room community this morning, can somebody please call on Thor to bring his hammer and smash us towards the downside, because until that happens, it is going to be really, really tough for Bitcoin to rally. But just to zoom out and give you some perspective of where we've come from, this is most likely still macro distribution, right? Macro distribution does take time on the dollar. You're looking at something like that. If you do push up a bit higher and reject, later on, you would still be expecting to come down significantly, and that significant move towards the downside is where you get those strong moves. So expect that this is all underside resistance, which is currently where the DXY, the dollar index, is pushing into right now. And what could change that, of course, is going to be the high impact economic data coming out, the CPI. We have the month-on-month and year-on-year, which is coming out tomorrow. It's going to be 4:30 my time, which is about, I think, market open for the US citizens. So keep an eye out on that. Expect that that's most likely where Bitcoin decides on its major move and what to expect next, right? So volatility in all markets, even China, right? China stocks plunging by almost 6%, on track for the biggest daily loss in 4.5 years. This was following one of the biggest pumps. So really trading like crypto, right? If you have a look at the Chinese stock market over here, I mean, this thing rallied 24% towards the upside. We don't even see this in some cryptos, following by a 11.6% drop, right? No surprise. Think of it. These guys are traditional investors. If they see something like a 24-25% gain in one day, well, actually from bottom to top, it was a 36% gain. Of course, they're going to profit take, right? And essentially, I think what Alex Kruger says over here is the case not only with the Chinese stock market, but a lot of the stock markets, actually, the Chinese stock market just have less control right now. And he says the Chinese stock market is a meme. Central bank is the dev. And he holds 80% of the supply and does whatever the F he wants, right? And consequently, any decision that China is making around monetary policy and stimulation into the market is creating these wild swings, right? So there it is. You can see pumping liquidity in, pulling liquidity out. It's absolute chaos. It literally is a meme. And and the Chinese stock market looks like a crazy dev with 80% of the supply. So with Bitcoin over here, let's just quickly check on the longs to shorts. So you actually have more people running shorts right now in the market. 50.12% over there on the top, 49.88% are running longs. Remember, most people have this completely the wrong way around. If you look at the 24-hour liquidations, well, the majority have come from the long side, but now with things flipping or skewing towards most of them being shorts over here, don't be surprised if you do see that flip, right? And you see a little bit of a short squeeze over the next 24 to 48 hours, and that should create the next high low. So that's what I'm watching over there. At the end of the day, this is going to be relatively flat and boring over the course of today into tomorrow, and then that's where we expect the shift to occur, right? So the signs and the symptoms are there for what should come next, and our expectation is still probably for another higher low to be formed over here and continuation. So you have your moving average chart over here, which we have the 3, the 9, and the 30. The good news is Bitcoin is above all of those moving averages, finishing this consolidation period over here. We're still waiting for the green to cross above the purple and the yellow, and that's where you tend to see, remember, those strong trending moves. So for those of you who are conservative and want to remain patient, feel free to do so. You can wait for a couple of high time frame closing candles to break through all of that resistance to confirm the next upside move. The only thing is that when it does break out, it's going to be in a big way, guys, right? Remember, 209 days into this correction over here. And so far, everything is lined up for what we said. We said expect volatility, expect action into this period over here, and don't sleep on this. We also spoke about the possibility for one more rejection, right? One more rejection, which came from this underside resistance over here. You can see where we previously broke structure. You can see we wicked into that zone and we came down. Now, if there is a bit of de-risking into the CPI, which is coming out tomorrow, then again, same story as yesterday, right? Watch for this, right? A worst case scenario, in my personal opinion, would be down into 57,500. And I've said even that is wishful thinking, right? It's no guarantee that you get that. There is a possibility that this is it. You may just see something like that and basically come near to those lows one more time and then reaccumulate and push on up, right? Now, where do things really start to break out? Well, of course, if you take out the previous week's high and the previous month's high, which is situated at this $66,000 to $67,000 region, that's where you expect that prices will start to rally aggressively. And that's probably where you break back above all these moving averages, the green crosses above the purple and the yellow, and everything's angled towards the upside, and it starts to look really, really healthy for continuation. So we'll keep an eye on that. There is some lower liquidity, which is why I said just be aware of that sweep down. 61,500 is where the liquidity is. So that's coming in still above where the recent wicks were, right? So if you look towards the I'll zoom in over there. If you look towards the body closes over here, that's why I said you might come down one more time to test some of those opens and closes on the body candles that occurred on the 2nd and the 3rd of October. And then remember, again, statistically, we look back and we saw that the most probable outcome for a low in October for Bitcoin tends to occur between the 7th and the 10th of October, right? We're on the 9th of October now. And we said that October highs are typically put in the 3rd week of October, which again supports why you're probably going to be looking for a high low in the making over here, whether it's here, whether it's a little bit lower, more or less, give or take within this vicinity is the high low territory, which is where you're looking to allocate into the market, right? Expecting the push up. And you can see the pressure building, price, of course, capped between both the 200 EMA and 200 MA over here. And this works like a pressure cooker, right? Price grinds and gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then the volatile move does actually take place, which is again in alignment with what we can see over here. The declining BBWP, you can see we are looking for a big move to occur, right? So 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin still holding up above the 200 EMA, which is a good sign. You're now looking to break back above the 50 and then get that trending move going. Bitcoin dominance still closer to a top than it is to a bottom, which means you're probably better off looking for opportunities in altcoins versus looking for opportunities in Bitcoin. How much higher could this go? Of course, it's possible that you could push up another, 3 to 6%, getting into that 60 to possibly even 62% territory. The only thing is that typically for Bitcoin to move up into this vicinity, it usually occurs in a major pullback, right? When price is falling overall across the whole market cap, that's typically where you see Bitcoin outperform. When the market goes into full on risk on mode, which is what we're seeing an appetite for in the form of meme coins rallying aggressively, which we looked at over here, then it usually means that Bitcoin dominance is more likely to start to break down. So please do keep an eye out on that. ETH BTC still getting hammered over here towards the downside. ETH USD also still getting smashed. This one's probably going to take some time. It could literally be another anywhere between 4 and 12 weeks before that one starts to outperform. Total 3 looking much healthier than Bitcoin dominance, still respecting that 0.65 to 618 level where it basically came into the golden pocket at 566 billion, wicked through there and started to break out once again, right? So you have a little bit of a false breakout over there. If you can sustain above this downsloping trend line over here, which is just a little bit higher, let's rather give you a percentage. in terms of a percentage, if this can just hold up, about another 3 to 4% higher than current price action, then you'll start to show signs of life in the altcoin sector, and total 3 should move up nicely from that point, right? So look at the appetite coming into the meme coin sector. It's crazy. Boomers can now actually buy 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓, right? 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 with their 401k and Roth IRAs, and that's on 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗓. Can you believe that? Absolutely unreal. This is the world that we live in. So that just shows you the appetite for the meme coins. Again, go back to yesterday's show if you want to learn more about that. What we said in yesterday's show as well is that we'd start building positions over here in the meme coins as well as other coins, building, low leverage long positions that we're going to hold for the next 2 to 3 months. Let's not say 3 months. Maybe that's a little bit optimistic. Let's just say realistically the next 6 to 8 weeks, it's probably going to be a good environment to start to build those longs, low leverage longs. Please, if you want to join in with these trades, most of them will be taken over here on WEEX. There is a link which is in the description below. Click on that link. Will qualify you for up to a 20% sign up bonus, right? What that means is if you put in $100, you'll get $20 bonus. If you put in 1,000, you'll get 200, right? If you put in 10,000, you'll get $2,000 bonus that you can use to trade with completely risk-free, right? This is where we're going to take the trades. They have some of the lowest fees in the market, right? So that's the advantage of trading on WEEX. Now, let's have a look at some of the altcoins, right? Please do drop your requests. First things first. Since I'm already on Aptos has recently been garnering a little bit of hype over here. You can see, remember, we identified ages ago the inverse head and shoulder over here, price pushed up, started to break out from the neckline, and we've already fulfilled the majority of that move. The good news is if it does complete this move, Aptos should be closing above the all-important $9.70 region, which opens up a higher trading range, right? That means if you can gain acceptance above this level, pullbacks into the 950 become buy areas where you're looking to target up to your next resistance, which as a percentage on Aptos, that would actually provide you about another 50% move with upside potential over there. 𝗬𝗎, let's have a look at 𝗬𝗎, still looking strong over here, holding around that $2 mark. Eventually, this is going to have a pullback. Where are your pullback regions if you want exposure to 𝗬𝗎 and you haven't already got it? Well, your obvious area is this 137, 140. That's the zone, right? That's the zone where you're looking to get some momentum. Now, if it fails over here, because this is where the prior failure occurred, then again, that's where you're going to load up, right? You can also see, like many of the charts, a potential cup and handle formation that would form there. If you do pull back, this would form your handle, right? So keep an eye on that. Okay, I see there is request for Baked. I think I actually had a look at Baked this morning. Let's have a look at Baked over here. I saw Baked was pulling back into a key support region. So it's currently at 15.75 million. And look at that, the wick coming into the area, respecting that zone between 0.012 and 0.013. So that's the area of interest. You're looking at that holding up a support. That's your range breakout level. Oftentimes you'll come back to test that, hold it as support, and then you can trade it back up to, it's going to be about 27 cents, and then it should move into price discovery thereafter. All right. Okay, I see requests around Casper. So Casper, this is showing signs of weakness. I can't ever lie to you guys. That is the truth of the matter. The fact that it's losing the mid-range level over here is not a good sign. You don't want it to spend too much time over there, right? So if it continues to consolidate underneath this area, that means it may do the full retrace all the way back down to 0.096. So please do be aware of that. Alternatively, if it does spike up, that would be a deviation, and then you trade it back to the top side of the range. So the warning sign that we spoke about on one of the Whale Room live sessions actually was the fact that if you look at this wick over here and the body close, it was at 14.5, right? Then you started to see Casper come down, hit that level and bounce. But then it started to spend time there, closing multiple candles below where the prior lows were, meaning new swing lows on a closing basis. And consequently, this was at least a warning sign that you may see something like that. So only time will tell. We'll need to observe long term. I still think that this is a decent one. I've replied to a bunch of comments as well on Twitter. The way that I describe Casper is think of it like stacking sats, right? Stacking Casper Caspers, stacking Satoshis over time. This is a longer term play, right? It's kind of like one of your blue chips. You're not looking for immediate pumps and extreme volatility. We look to AI and meme coins for those types of things. This is more your longer term positions that you're holding. All right, there is a request around Rune. Let's go to Rune. We haven't had a look at Rune for a couple of days. Let's see how is it holding up. Okay, all in all, high highs and high lows. It seems to be doing okay, reaccumulating within this region. A little bit choppy over here, but nevertheless, I think it's good for continuation higher over the midterm to long term, right? I expect this to trend up higher and higher. Okay, what about the CME gap? That's what Forster says, CME gap at 54K. Remember, not all CME gaps will be filled. There's a CME gap on the 4-hour time frame, even lower than that. I believe it's around I think it's at about 51,500, 52,000. It's possible, but not probable. That's the question, right? Where are the probabilities highest, right? So the probability is higher that price will probably hold up, maybe come back down towards that 59.5 region that I identified. And then after that, that's where you expect your major low to be. But it's not impossible. It's always possible. Okay, Injective. So giving you a second chance to get in, right? We already hit the 618. Same thing as Bitcoin. You're looking at reaccumulation around here and then the move up, right? Eventually you'll get the move up towards the top side of the range over there. That's going to be $30. So for the longer term, not a bad hold. If you're focusing really on any of the layer ones, these are usually risk to reward, some of the safer bets. Near holding up at that fair value gap over there, also narrowly missed the 618. So we're looking for basically these previous lows to be defended. That means that you want near to hold up above $4.42. And if it does, hopefully that creates enough momentum to send up to our targets, 648, and then after that, 770. It's all going to depend, guys, on what happens around tomorrow's CPI. So expect a little bit of a boring day, to be honest with you. Okay, you can see some of the other coins are starting to move over here, right? You got 𝗕𝗤𝗢𝗓, one of the real world asset coins, breaking that downsloping trend line over there. So starting to show signs of life. Let's just clear that up over there. You have your range levels over here. You swept the range low, got back inside. Now you're trading it up towards mid-range and thereafter 28 cents towards the range high. So I think the best sectors to be dabbling in for the next phase of the cycle, I believe it's going to be meme coins, which are going to outperform. Again, extensive show on that yesterday. You can go and have a look at that. And then second to that, I believe that it's going to be by selectively choosing the right AI coins and a couple of real world asset coins. I think those are going to be some of the top performers. Mantra has been one of our top picks, and it's been trending pretty much to new all-time highs. So let's just zoom in over here. I just want to double check something in terms of the closing candles. Okay, so you're closing slightly lower than those prior highs over there. So this could be a top on Mantra. I'm not advocating that you short it or anything over here, but you may be seeing a top at least in the interim. So we mark out the levels going from bottom to top over there. If this is a confirmed top, your pullback levels where you're going to find support is going to be between 115 and about this 125. Expect somewhere within that region, your next high low to form, and then continuation. That's why I said a little bit of a rotation game, maybe some profit taking on Mantra and moving that into coins like 𝗕𝗤𝗢𝗓. We already went long on Rio, remember that as well. So we've taken most of the profits based on opportunity cost. I may close out the rest. For those of you in whale room, I'll let you know later today if I do decide to close out the rest, as opposed to waiting for the top side to be filled over here, because this could be a deeper correction, right? You could be seeing, something like that, which is going to take a little bit of time to reaccumulate. Even if that does happen, this would have still been a phenomenal trade risk to reward wise, which is where we did take most of our profit, 66% off the table there. That literally leaves it still at an 11.6 to 1 risk to reward ratio, which is an absolute killer trade, right? I mean, guys, those are big numbers. You don't always get trades like that. All right. What else? What else have we got over there? Solana. Yeah, we haven't looked at Solana for a while. We should probably see how Solana is doing since it holds up a massive amount of the meme coin sector, right? So one of the reasons long-term to be bullish on Solana as well is just to think, where's all this meme coin liquidity going to eventually flow, right? When the market starts to go risk off, profit taking will go from meme coins on Solana into meme coins, or into Solana as the native token, right? So currently, price action is not looking too good on Solana. Again, have to be honest with you, similar to Casper, you narrowly missed the 618, which was over there. So if you do come back down and take out that last week's low, there's a possibility you come back down to 118, and that's going to be the major zone where you want to find support, right? So keep an eye out on that. This is the warning candle over here that occurred not yesterday, the day before. You can see the big wick on that if I zoom in over there. Have a look at that candle over there. A little bit of a warning candle over there on a couple of the coins. Okay, TON coming down over here as well. Probably going to hit our levels. We spoke about profit taking into the 618 level, the golden pocket over there. Price coming down. You're looking at major support on TON, the Telegram coin, to be found at that $4.50 region. All right, what else have we got? Guys, drop your requests there in the comment section. I see there's a request for IMX. It wasn't looking too bad just a couple of days ago, so let's double check on IMX. Okay, IMX, so this is the level. You're losing now your prior breakout level. This is a zone where you want to see support found. Look, it's not all dead in the water yet. Similar to Bitcoin, you want to use Bitcoin to time your entries. Let's mark out some of those zones. The fact that I lost the 50% level now opens up the possibility that this becomes your next target, $1.37 to $1.39. You really want to start to see a higher low form over there on the daily. Failure to do that will mean that, well, inevitably you're going to be coming for these lows, right? So don't step in yet. Just because we mark these levels out doesn't mean you should ever be placing limit orders here, but instead you should be studying the price action and observing what the candles are doing as they hit these levels, right? You want to be zooming in on a low time frame and observing, right? As price comes into this level, what is it doing? Is it showing signs of support? Is it showing beautiful wicks that are forming underneath and the body's closing higher? If so, there's bullish demand. You did see a little bit of that here, in all fairness, on the daily chart. Look at that coming into the green line. Support, 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 support. So stops would have been below, and eventually it fell through. So you're looking to do something similar as it comes into those key zones, right? Cool. Let's have a look at XAI. I know XAI was one that's been heavily hit previously. How's it doing now? Range bound, right? So definitely range bound. Following a very aggressive downtrend, it started to move into that slowdown phase, right? So you got a slowdown phase over here. I'm going to mark this off as the primary SR region that you're looking to flip over there. And then after that, of course, your obvious areas are going to be to get above that 27 cents region, right? So a little bit of a range-bound environment over here. I wouldn't be stepping in yet. I'd rather wait for a strong trend to form on something like this. What about Render? How's Render doing? Render's been on the watch list, but failure to break out over here. We still haven't stepped into a Render position. You do have a little bit of a trend line forming. Obviously, you don't want to break below that, right? So I can already see maybe a little bit of reaccumulation. What is an ascending triangle? An ascending triangle is essentially a chart pattern that showcases to you when you're getting reaccumulation in the market. Why? Well, you have equal highs, but you have higher lows that constantly form. So keep an eye on this. But if it breaks, right, it will break down in a big way because this is a lot of liquidity underneath. So you really want to see it hold up over here. If you start to see the presence of a high low forming on Render, then, maybe, just maybe, you have a reaccumulation over here, ascending triangle. The breakout of that ascending triangle will take you up to this level. The only problem is I don't like to trade these chart patterns when the preceding trend was down, right? Because charts are more likely to continue with the prior trend. So it's got a lot of work to do. Wait for signs of strength before you step into something like Render over there. Okay, let's have a look at Ondo. Ondo was one that got heavily hit in terms of the real world asset sector. The rotation went from Ondo into Mantra. That's why Mantra had such a big pump. And this is the chart, right? There's still a lot of unlocks taking place over here. You need to look at the token unlock schedule. I would expect that this is your area of support, right? 65 cents. You really want to hold this. I don't think that it will hold up at that exact level. I think, again, you probably do a bit of a sweep, and then you need to see, is there reaccumulation? Is it holding up above this? Okay, I see there's a request for Mother. let's have a look at Iggy's coin over here. Mother, how's it doing? Has the hype died down? Okay, I suspect so. Yes, the hype has died down. Remember, they had the conference. They had the whole Solana conference, I think, that she went to as well, and got a lot of attention over there. The hype has come down a bit, right? Big move up over here. Expect that it's probably going to come into the range high over here to backtest into this region. So I personally wouldn't be a buyer until I saw something like that. And I actually personally think it will even sweep that level. So look for something like this. That's what you're looking for. If you do want to back these celeb coins, understand that you're playing a risky game, right? You're looking at 0.060. Why do I say you're playing a risky game? Well, we've said that Iggy might be different, right? She might be different. She might really be, in it for the long run. But if we look at the track record of the celeb coins, it's got, 100% hit rate in terms of losses, 99% down, 99.99% down. And I've always said, if Snoop Dogg can't do it, who can, right? Who can in terms of the celebs? Snoop Dogg is, of course, absolutely loved by the crypto sector. And if he couldn't get it right, I don't know how anyone is. So watch that level. Percentage-wise is what you're looking at for Mother. If you want exposure, expect another 35% down, right? All right, let's have a look at some of the coins that were pretty hyped yesterday in terms of the memes. Yesterday and the day before, definitely felt sentiment-wise like a little bit of a top for the market in the meme coin sector, quite euphoric. But let's have a look. How are things holding up? So Popcat, let's see. So not holding up at the 0.382 level. That was a significant zone that we were watching over there. There's still profit taking going on over here. I think this correction could go a bit deeper. You might see something like that. All the way back down to the breakout level over here where you had all that resistance. That means $1, right? Sweeping into $1 is a possibility. GigaChad still looking strong, but look at these wicks over here. Might be a little bit of a warning that there is some profit taking, which is also going to come into GigaChad. So please do be aware of this. With these coins, when the hype is there, you definitely don't want to be putting leverage trades on, right? You want to be taking it relatively easy, rather profit taking, and you want to be establishing your leverage trades when it's boring, right? Remember when we got into Giga? We got into Giga when it was down here. I spoke about it a lot in this region over here. Now you've had the big move. You don't want to be chasing something like this unless you're dollar cost averaging in on spot for the long term. I do think that, these will all take out these highs eventually, even if you put in a local top over here. I do think eventually you put in, obviously, higher prices and higher highs over the rest of the bull run. All right, what else? What else have we got over there? We can look at PayPay. That's the Chinese PayPay coin. I see that is one of the requests over there. So where do I have it over here? Let's just see. Here it is. All right. With China coming down in terms of its market, it seems like they're treating this almost in a correlated fashion. And you have PayPay also coming down over here, breaking back into the trading range. Therefore, the levels that I'd mark out is the mid-range, right? So mid-range level that you're looking at over here is going to be coming into, well, you're already losing the mid-range of that. But if you look at the mid-range that you broke out from, that's lining up with the 618. That's going to be, it's a lot of digits, 13,000, 1,200, and 17. Let's just see this one over here. Okay, so $13,000 to $14,000 region is where I'd be looking for a little bit of support on PayPay, the Chinese PayPay coin. Okay, what is this over here? Ran list price on memes to high to low market cap. Yeah, we'll need to get that list. Maybe I should chart that. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to, chart all of those coins on the list that he has, and we can have a look at that maybe in a future show, maybe even tomorrow. Find the exact zones where there would be good entries on that. So, all right, 𝗪𝗡, let's have a look at 𝗪𝗡. $19 currently, still taking its time, right? Chopping about. Expectation is, you could come down as low as about 1655, and that's going to be an area of interest, a zone where you're looking for reaccumulation to occur on 𝗪𝗡. I do want to remind you guys as well, before we continue, there is the World Series of Trading event, which is taking place. $10 million up for grabs. If you think you're a great trader, even if you're not a great trader, you can risk very small amounts of money and take some moonshot trades over there. If you get the highest P&L, well, you'll win your share of $10 million, right? So use the link in the description below. We're trying to build the biggest trading team in the entire world. please do join the Banter Squad, right? So if you sign up using the link below, it should take you to the Banter Squad. Now, if you're having an issue signing up, the reason is probably because you haven't converted your ByBit account to a unified trading account. Unified trading account means that everything's in one place, right? Spot, leverage, etc., perpetuals, inverse perpetuals, everything is in one place. You need to do that. I think that they've been prompting everyone to do that in any case, irrespective of this trading competition. But if you want to get into the trading competition, that's what you need to do. 11 days, 2 hours left to go. The competition begins very, very soon. The sooner you start, the higher the chances are that you have to win, right? Because you have a chance to build up those accounts over time. You can't join, the last day expecting that you're going to catch up to someone who started the race on the day one as the race opened, right? That's not how it works. All of us are running the same race. So join in early. All right, let's continue. Let's go to some of the other requests over there. We have Celestia. We can have a look at Celestia. We did look at it earlier on this week, but let's check it out again. See how Celestia is doing. TIA. Okay, there it is. Look, this is the level to break above. I'll still say the same thing. Maybe form a higher low somewhere around here based on the way price is coming down. I do expect that this is going to go lower. So you may come back towards these lows at 379. But you can confirm that everything is reversed when you can break above this yellow line, right? That is the line in the sand, $7.27. I want to see price get back above that. And oftentimes, remember this, oftentimes after you go from a strong downtrend, you never reverse into a strong uptrend, right? Unless you get stimulus on steroids, like what we saw in 2020. You don't get these V-shaped recoveries. Instead, you should expect, following a strong downtrend, that you're going to have a ranging market. You have to form a base. So please don't expect when you buy something like this near the lows that you're going to get immediate return, right? Expect that you're going to range. You're going to range and chop and chop and chop. And if you can trade that range successfully, right? If you can, basically buy near the bottom of the range, there it is, and short sell from the top of the range, there's a lot of money to be made there, right? Longing just on spot alone gives you an 83% move. So if you long that with leverage, you can do 500% to the upside. Short sell from the top side down, 45% move towards the downside. And with leverage, again, same thing. You're going to make like 250, 300% on the way down. So consider that when you're looking at these charts over here, something important to focus on. All right, that's it from me, guys. I'll see all of you on the next one. We have Whale School later today. So for those of you joining, I'll see you then. Have a great day, everyone, and cheers for now.